Okay, hi, good evening. Oh, just let me adjust this. Won't be 1 second. I'm just wanting to adjust my camera. There we go. Sorry about that. Just brought me up a little bit closer to you. Um, just bear with me 1 second. I am just running against the time a little bit here and haven't quite got my phone set up. It's taking a little bit slow. And how is everybody going tonight? Hope everybody is well. Please jump on, say hello, let us know where you're from. My name is Michelle and I'm an independent demonstrator here in New South Wales, Australia. So at the moment I'm just almost got this set going. It's not wanting to play nice. Tonight might be a technology night. Come on. So who's here with me tonight? Is anybody on? No one said hello as yet, so I hope you're on soon. I should have everything here all plugged in. Let me just, here we go. Just waiting for this phone to come on. Just got to catch up. So have we got anybody here? Please, someone jump on and say hello. Let me know how your day is going. Hello, Joan. How are you? How you been? Are you having a good day? I'm just getting this camera sorted out. Sort of a bit late getting my dinner on the table and all that sort of thing. Are you looking forward to getting the new catalogue or seeing the new catalogue when it comes out? Now, for the last couple of, it's very warm there. Yeah, the day here started off quite cool, but it's actually ended up, I'm quite warm at the moment, so I don't know whether that's because I've just hoed my meal down. Just waiting here. It's not liking, my camera's not liking this too much, I don't think. Okay. Yay, we've got something. Okay, can you hear me now? Just let me know, Joan, if you can hear me, please. Yep, okay. I'm going to have to stick with my sound on the tablet. Okay, so you can't wait for the new catalogue. Had a bit of sneak peek at it today. There's some nice things in there. Very different catalogue to what we've had before, so it's going to be quite interesting. And of course, the last chance products have the lists have gone up, but I think there's still a little while before you can actually start ordering some of those. I don't actually have the date on me, but it's quite a big list. So if you're looking for some bargains, it's worthwhile making your list of the things that you would love to get before the catalogue goes and check them out. So if you don't have a demonstrator, let me know, and I can either email those lists to you or somehow get them to you. Okay, I'm going to flip my camera down and we're going to have a look at what we're going to be playing with tonight. Okay, so what we're going to be having a play with tonight is the Latte Love. Now I'm trying to think, is that what it's actually called? It's on the online exclusives. The Designer's Series paper is called A Little Latte. You can buy this in a bundle. And in the bundle, you get the Designer Series paper, stamp sets, dies, ribbon, and these little... Oh, you're a demonstrator. Oh, good to know that, Joan. These little pieces. Did you go to Melbourne on the weekend? I didn't get there, unfortunately. I just it was just one thing I just couldn't afford to do. We've just paid for accommodation in Mudgee in the next couple of weeks. So let me go through with these products. So Joan, you would know most of these then. I don't know. Have you purchased this as yet? It's on the online exclusives at the moment. So let me show you the Designer Series paper. So I've cut these up into smaller pieces. So I'm going to show you one side and then I'll flip it over and show you the other. So this one is cups looking downwards. Now I do believe if I grab the dies for this, now I pop all my dies on the inside here, then we should be able to die cut those out. Yes, they will. So yeah, it is expensive, and it'll be more expensive for you if you're going from Brisbane too. You're still thinking about this set? Yeah, I spent a little bit of time thinking about it, but then all of a sudden I went, oh, I just saw a few things. I thought, no, I've got to get it. It's not my usual because it's not flowers. So it's getting away from very much from what I usually do. So these teacups you can cut out with the dies. Let's have a look and see what else is in here. You've got this one here, which is like I suppose, a coffee swirl. You've got this style of mug. Now, these ones here do need to be fussy cut. Okay. Don't think, unless this die here, because this is actually the first time I've really had a look at these. No, that one doesn't cut out. It's a similar shape. I was just looking at this die here. It's a similar shape to that one, but it's not quite right. So if you wanted to cut these ones out, you do have to fussy cut them. Yeah, because not even that cup's the same. So there's that one. Then you have coffee beans. Now I've got a feeling here I've got some missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do have one missing. So you got that swirl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm wondering whether this might be the 6th one here. Because you also have this one here, which is coffee splatters. And if I turn these over, then the reverse is you've got the hearts, which is the milk heart they put on the top. A nice plaid. Coffee cups, spoons, and coffee beans. Coffee beans in Calypso Coral. So this is Calypso Coral. So the base, the darker colour is that. I would say, I'll have a look at the colours in a minute. Then you've got your coffee stained and the green stripe. And I must admit, this green stripe is the one that really sold me. I really love this. So there are papers. And I'm going to need that one for my card. The colours that go with this are Calypso Coral, Early Espresso, Lemon Lolly, Lost Lagoon, Pecan Pie, and Petal Pink. So, and I'm sure that there are other colours too that you could easily work in within it. So they're the designer series papers. I'm going to pop those with the bigger ones, just so then if they're off my table. And then you have these dies here, which let me just turn that upside down. And as I said before, you've got this one here, which cuts out the top of your coffee cup. This one here, which cuts I'll bring the stamp set in. This one cuts that coffee mug. Whoops, almost lost a piece. And then you've got two types of coffee pots. You've got this one. And this one here they call a French press. Never heard it called that before, but that's okay. Then this piece here is the beaker that goes inside that one. You've got a circle piece, which I would say cuts out the centre piece there and does actually cut out those milk art pieces. I can see making lots of fun coffee bits and pieces. I've got a husband and at least two boys that love their coffee. You've got coffee cups. You've got two of those. We've got in these dies, you've got the piece that cuts out that bit there. So what cuts out on here, I'll just pop these on here so you can see that cuts out that, and they're right size actually, not always are they the same size. That piece, I'm not quite sure. I have to do a bit of research to find out. That may go on to that particular coffee pot. I'd have to have a look. Got that bit. I know what that bit's for. This one here, I think, cuts out the inside for that. This piece cuts out the inside for that one. That one looks like that's a lid to that one. This one cuts out the spoon, which is that one up the top there. Hello, Sharon. How are you? Thank you for joining us. You got these ones here, which cut out the coffee beans. So that will probably cut out the coffee beans on the designer series paper. What else do we have in here? Let me just pull these out. So you've got two coffee bean pieces. That one looks like it cuts out the coffee beans on if I turn that over, I might have better success. That coffee bean. There's another coffee bean. So you've got two of that particular die. And then this one here. Now you've got these three coffee beans. There's also a coffee bean stamp. I don't know whether you can see it. It's way up the top. And then these little pieces. They're probably to cut out to go in the top of the cups, the little cups, because they're about the same size. So they're all the dies that comes with it. There's 15 dies in. No, there's. Let me have a look. Oh, I just lost a die on the floor. I will have to come back and find it. It's one of the coffee bean ones. There are 20 dies. Mine's down to 19 at the moment. So we're going to need this particular one for what we're going to do tonight. So I'm going to pop all these in here, and then I'm going to grab my super duper magnetic thing to pick up that die off the floor. Hopefully it's not bounced away. It's the only thing when you start playing with dies, is you don't want to lose them. So there's quite a bit in this suite, and this is all on the exclusives on the on Stamping Up's page. And I don't mind the sentiments. Hello, let's catch up. Thanks so much. This one's on me, and you're the best part of my day. So this is what we're going to play with tonight. Now, what I've decided on Tuesday nights, because I'm usually fairly busy on a Tuesday with my other business, I'm going to do Template Tuesdays. So Template Tuesdays is going to be where I'm going to choose a template from Pinterest. And tonight I've chosen this one here. Now, generally these are all written up for inches, but I have converted it into centimetres, and I will pop this up hopefully on my blog. I have been a bit remiss with my blog of late. But we're going to make this card, and I will tell you all the pieces as we work through what sizes I've used. So let me start off with and show you what I've cut. So I've got here a card base, and my card base is 10.5 by 29.9, and I've scored that at 14.9, so I'm left with a 10-fold card. I've then chosen, and that is in AliExpresso. I've then got a piece here of Lost Lagoon, and I've cut that for my mat, and I've cut that 10 by 14.4. I'm going to use this piece of Designer Series paper, and this piece here is 9.7 by 14.1. So I've come in 0.5 centimetre from my card base to my mat, and then 3 millimeters from my mat to my card front. I've got another piece here of basic white. Now this is for my card insert, and that's going to go on the inside, and that is also 10 by 14.4. I've got a little strip of the same Designer Series paper which was just left over, because I would initially cut this piece 10 by 15.3, I think it is, and then that little bit that when I cut this down to 14.1, I had this little strip left over, so that's going to go on the inside of my card, on my insert. I then have 2 strips of Designer Series paper. Now this strip here is what I'm calling strip 1, and that's 3.5 centimeters by 11. Okay, I've got a Facebook user, and there's someone who I'm not quite sure who they are. I'm terribly sorry. Every week we get someone, and it's probably the same person, and it's really great to have you here. Yeah, it is a lot easier to get motivated. And I just find that I'm so busy on a Tuesday. By the time I cook dinner and then get in here, so it's going to be Template Tuesdays. My husband named the day. So I'm going to use this piece, this Designer Series paper, and then I'm going to use this one here as my second strip, and that's 2.5 centimeters by 10. And then we've got a square. So if we're looking at our templates, I've got this square here, and I've cut this at a 5 centimeter square piece. I've got my circle at 2.5 centimeters. Glenda, I thought it might have been. There's 2 people that come up, so sometimes. So great to have you in there. So this is a 2.5 centimeter circle. Now, I know, as I said, we're doing templates, Template Tuesday. Sometimes I might step this up a little bit, because sometimes I sort of look at templates and I go, don't quite like that piece in there, or I want to add something different or a different size. So we'll just play it by ear. Then I've got 2 other pieces here. I'm going to put a sentiment on, which they haven't got a piece on here for sentiment, but I'm adding a sentiment piece. And then this piece here is what I'm going to do my stamping on. So that's, and I will put this up too if I get my blog written up. I have just been so under the pump lately that, yeah, things are just running terribly behind. But anyway, this is my sketch that we're going to work on, and each Tuesday I'm going to pick another sketch. Okay, and like this is a Mojo sketch. Next one might be a page maps. I don't know yet. We'll work it out as we go along. I'll just pick something that I think is suitable for what I want to work on. So I hope you're going to enjoy Template Tuesday. And let's get started and start working on this card. So I'm going to pop that to one side. And I'm going to start off with, I'm going to pop all these pieces over here. And we're going to start cutting. Now, I should have mentioned too, that circle I cut using the Stylish Shapes. So it's the stitched circle from the Stylish Shapes. Okay, so on this piece here, I'm going to stamp. I'm going to use my blends tonight. Now, another demonstrator gave a really great tip. Your craft ink pads, when you get them, haven't got any, like you get the stamp pad, which is dry, and you get the refill for the white craft ink. I'm sorry, I'm hearing myself come back at me. So what she did, what she suggested, it was a really great idea, was to grab yourself a craft stamp pad, and instead of filling it with the white refill, you fill it with Memento. So this is actually my Memento Black. So I've got my Memento stamp pad, but it's a cloth stamp pad, and I sometimes find I don't get a really nice clear image. So this being a foam stamp pad, I've actually filled it with my black Memento refill ink, and I have been getting really nice, crisp images stamped. And it's not to do really with whether it's a photopolymer or a red rubber. It's just the amount of ink, I think. So there's a little tip for you. You know, but when you do order the stamp pad, you will get the white refill. So anyway, let's stamp this. So I'm using Memento ink, because when you use blends, you should always use Memento, because Memento is a water-based ink. And when you're wanting to do watercolor, you use the Stays On. So look at that. Look how well that has stamped. It's a really nice, clear, first time round image. So that's just I really like that tip. It was well worth doing that. I'm going to pop that there. I'm going to clean my stamps a little bit later on. So we've done that, and of course, because they're photopolymer, I've used my foam mat underneath that just to give me that extra padding that I need. And the colours I'm going to do my mug, I've got Calypso Coral Light and Dark, and I've also got the Dark Petal Pink. Okay, so I'm going to start off. Now, normally when I use blends, I start with my light colour and work it up. But with this one here, I was watching a video by Patty Bennett, and she coloured this, and I really love the way that she did it. So I'm going to start with my dark this time. So I've got my dark coral, and I'm just going to go around the edges and start bringing that colour in. Now you can just colour it in line quite close and just do a fine line around. Just go into a circular motion all the way down, or you can do it as a little bit of a flick. I'm at this point just using my fine tip, and I do like the tick method a bit better. Now I'm going to just bring that around to the other side, and you can just sort of follow the lines that Stamping Up have given us on the paper. Now, doing it on the glass mat also means it keeps our ink nice and moist for us as well. So now I'm going to do the other side as well. And I'm just going to do a tick, just flicking that brush into the middle. Just taking that little bit further in. Now, to know whether you've got enough ink on there, if you flip it over, you should have your ink bleeding through to the other side. And that's just keeping this all moist. So now this time I'm going to come in with my Calypso Coral in my light, and I'm going to use the brush tip. And all I want to do is I'm going to take it from about halfway, and I'm going to flick that colour in. Now, I'm not going all the way into the middle. Now I'm going to turn this around and do the other side. And I'm just flicking that colour in. Now, at the moment, I can see a separation between the two colours, but as this starts to dry, those colours will blend more and more. Now, I'm going to use my dark petal pink, and I'm just going to flick that into the centre and just taking the colour from the light Calypso Coral and flicking it in, and then from the other side as well. And I'm just going over this a couple of times because I just want to give enough ink into there that it's going to start to all blend nicely. So as you can see, that's just starting to blend. Okay, so let me just bring that up so you can have a look. Now I might just add a little bit more of the Calypso Coral in the light because I've got a lot of you've got to be very careful when you add the lightest colour, which is actually the petal pink, because it pushes the colour away. So I want to add just a little bit more of that in there because I just feel I've got too much of that petal pink in there. Whoops, I want that other tip. Okay, so I've just added a little bit more. So just down through that centre line there is where my lightest colour is. Hello, Anne from Canberra. How are you? Okay, so I'm going to come back in with my dark Calypso Coral, and I'm going to pop a little bit of this on the handle where I think the darkness is going to be. And then I'm just going to come in with my light Calypso Coral. Now I'm using the fine tip here because I've got the handle is not very wide and I want a little bit more control. Just bring those colours so they start to blend. Okay. Now, unfortunately, I've just got a little bit of bleeding on my memento there, but I hope that will settle down. That very rarely that happens, and it could have been I just didn't leave my ink to dry well enough before I started using the alcohol blends. So, you really do have to let this dry nicely. It doesn't take a huge amount of time, but you do want it to dry. But I'm just going to keep going with this. So now what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of colour along the rim of my cup. And again, I'm just adding the dark. And then I'm going to come back in with the lighter Calypso Coral. Just like that. Now that centre part there we could just colour. But there is a little stamp, which is this one here. It's just a very small stamp. Let me show you on the box, which is this little one here. And it fits inside there, but only just. It's sort of like it could have been, I think it could have been a little bit bigger, but that's okay. We can make this work. And because we don't always have coffee right up to the top of our cup. So I'm going to use my pecan pie here. So I thought that was sort of coffee colourish. And I'm just going to ink that up. Now we probably should have our foam mat underneath us here at this point. And I'm going to just stamp this in the centre like that. So now it sort of tends to look like we've got our coffee and it's down the side of the cup. So the rim of our cup is in the same colour as our mug, and then the wall of our cup, I've got it in white. Now, I've got one that I was playing around with earlier today. Let me bring that in. So with this one here, I actually took the light Calypso coral and took it down around the milk. You could do that, or you could leave it as a bit of white. It's really up to you which one you want to do. I'm going to leave this one with a bit of white in there, and just see how we go. No, I think actually I might colour it in. I'm just sort of looking at the bleed in that, and I might just colour this in. You could actually colour it in, and I might give it a try with the dark petal pink. Because not all the time is your inside of your cups the same colour as around your rim. So that's just adding a little bit of lightness in there, but it's taking away that stark whiteness. So that's our coffee mug. Now, the only thing with this one here is I don't know whether I'm happy with that blending in the middle. So I'm just going to give this a little bit more of a blend, just down through the centre, and just hopefully that will just dry a little bit more blended. Okay, so I'm just going to grab here my mini cut and emboss machine. And we're going to die cut. Now, did I put that die away or did I leave it out? Let's have a look. Don't let me forget to pick up the one I've dropped on the floor. No, I did put it away. So let's grab that out of there. Must have a little bit of an internet issue at the moment because I seem to look like from my end that we're stopping every now and then. I'm hoping soon, might take me a little while to do it, to change my craft room to another room which is more closer to our internet. So, but it might be a month or two before I get that done. See how we go. I've got to go and measure up this spare bedroom and see if everything is going to fit. I'll leave my sewing room down here, but take my, since I don't have any children left at home, I'll take over another room and move my craft room down the other end of the house. So then I've got a bigger area for sewing and a bigger area for crafting. That might be an excuse to buy more stuff, or don't know. Don't think my husband will be too happy with that. Okay, there's our coffee mug, and unfortunately my die moved a little bit, but I think we'll survive with that. Okay then, so let's put this card together. So there's our coffee mug, and here's all our pieces. Now, I actually do have two more things we can stamp while we've got the stamps and everything out. We've got my sentiment, because I like to do, if I can, everything in stages. We need that piece. And I've got here Early Espresso, and I'm going to stamp the hello there. Grab my foam mat again. line this up on my grid paper. And line that up. Now, I'm just hoping. So there's our sentiment. Oops, we've frozen. Okay. I've already got a Wi-Fi extender on. It's just, it mucks up a little bit. Okay, let me get my phone down. It looks like it's our internet. So this is one of the reasons why I think me moving to the room closer to the router is going to be a lot better. Now, I don't know why that has gone. I hope this phone hasn't completely died. I've been using old phones as my camera. And that does not want to switch back on. That phone didn't last for too long. Okay. Sorry about this, folks. It's technology day today. Now, bear with me. I'm going to grab my new phone. Oh, okay. Only problem with this one is I cannot turn it for some reason. We don't know why. So let me make sure that that's on. Okay, let's just see how we go. Oops, wrong one. Sorry about that. Unfortunately, I can only do this one. I wonder how it'll go if I did that. I wonder if it'll flip for me. Let's see if that works. Okay, let's try this. No, it won't flip around. Okay. Yep, let's just, whoops, turn that. Sorry, turn away for a little bit so you don't get dizzy. How's that? Can everybody see that? Okay. It looks like my other old phone has died, and so I'm down to using my good phone. Can everyone see that okay? Okay then, let's keep trying. We'll keep going with this card. So we've stamped our sentiment, and I've stamped that in early espresso. much clearer than before. Is it a better picture? Just let me know, because it'd be interesting to know. But anyway, so I've stamped that, as I said, in Early Espresso, just on a scrap. I may cut that down yet. I don't know. We'll work that out when we put the card together. The other piece that I want to stamp is my card insert. So I've got my insert here, and I've got one of the stamped images, which is this one here, which is like the coffee cup stains and a splatter. Let's get that splatter stamp out, actually. And we'll get a little block. Unfortunately, these little blocks are going to be going. This is the really tiny one, which is A. So if you want them, order it now. So we're going to pop this little strip here that I've got left over on the bottom of this card, and it's actually slightly narrower than the width of my card, but that's okay because I'm going to put a little bit of a white border along the bottom. I'm going to, can't do it right now. Next time I'm going to drop my camera down a little bit further, so I'll keep lifting this up until, but by Friday I'll have a better height on my camera. Okay, so we're going to use that pecan pie again, and I'm going to put, let's just have a look what this splatter looks like. Yep. So we're going to have that little strip there, and I probably want that just above there, and I'm just going to stamp it like a second stamp. So there's two there. So I'm just bring that up so you can actually see. So I've just stamped that, done a second stamping with that. So that's the pecan pie, but a little bit lighter. Oops, one thing I need to do is that little splatter. So, because we've got the splatters, I might just stamp that off and stamp. And do another one. And I'm going to put this one here, just coming off that edge. So we've just got a couple of little splatter marks. We've been a bit sloppy with our coffee drinking. That's all our stamping now done. And pop this little piece here on there. So that's done. So let me just remove my foam. I like to put a piece of paper over my foam mat because it gives me a bit of a grid paper to work from, but it also, I don't like getting my ink on the foam mat because it'll just soak it up. So it means anything else I put on top, it could transfer. So I'm going to pop that on the bottom and just leave a little border around the edge. So that's going to be the inside of our mug, or our card. So let's attach that now into our card. This is usually the last thing I do, but since I'm working on this piece, let's just make it the first. Give that a good rub. I'm going to turn that over. Just give that a good rub down there too. Okay, so that's the inside of our card complete. So let's start working on our card front. So I've got my card mat here. And as I said, I've cut this piece 1/2 centimetre smaller than my card front, which is this piece. And I might just, while I think about it, just get my bone folder and just give that a nice firm press there like that. And then I've cut my piece of designer series paper 3 millimeters smaller than my mat, because that's the increments I like to use. Not everybody likes to use those. Some people like to do 1/2 centimeter, 1/2 centimeter, and that's fine. But I love having 1/2 and then 3. Okay, so there's that with our splatters on there. So I'm going to pop that onto here. Now again, if you wanted to, you could use dimensionals to pop that up, but I like to use the dimensionals to pop up my focal points. So I'm going to use glue just to adhere this down. And I like my multi-purpose glue. I use that a lot more than I do the seal, just for the fact that I can move it. I've got a couple of seconds to be able to move things into position. So I'm just going to open it up and just give that a really good rub, because if you have any globs of glue in there, it can show through your designer series paper. So there's our card front. So let's grab all these pieces that I've cut. So this piece here, we bring in our template here. So this is the 3.5 by 11, and it's going to sit somewhere about there. Then this piece here, which I have cut at, now my measurements are a little bit different to the ones that they've given, because I've sort of changed things just a little bit. This one here I've cut at 2.5 by 10, and it's just going to go, I'm going to take that to probably about there. So it's off center. So let's glue this piece down first. I want it to be sitting up probably a little bit higher. I think I've got it over. Just moving that. Still got a little bit of slip there, so I'm just moving that across a little bit. Luckily I didn't take my glue. I don't normally take my glue right to the edges, because I leave room for my glue to expand outwards when I rub it. And then this one here is going to come down a little bit there. Now this is our 5 centimeter square, and it's going to sit around about at that point there. So let's pop some glue on the back of that. Because we're going to have our circle coming out here. So that's going to, because at the moment that's very unbalanced. So by the time we put our circle on, it's actually going to come out to this edge here, and is going to start balancing out. So basically from the edge of the card to where the Lost Lagoon is going to be the same or similar distance from the edge of my card to my basic white. Now we could put this piece on dimensionals, but I'm actually going to pop my cup on the dimensionals. So this is, I'm not going to glue this down just in a moment. I just want to work out, my cup's going to go on here somewhere. So whether I have it coming off there a bit, and then I have my sentiment. Now my sentiment we're going to need to cut down. Now it's whether I just sort of having a look, because I don't know how straight I've managed to cut that, but I do need to cut it down, or whether I cut around it. I might just cut around it. Now let me put my lid on my glue before that dries and grab my scissors. Now if you don't feel comfortable with just cutting around this freehand, sometimes what you can do is just grab a pencil and just very lightly pop a dotted, and I'll show you this when I'm finished, line just around, and that's just sort of So then you've got a guide. And also too, if you cut and you've gone a little bit too close, of course, you sort of can't really change it. Whereas if you draw it with a pencil first, you can sort of have an idea of where you want to cut. And then you can just get a rubber and erase those lines. So if I show that to you, where is my camera? There we are. I don't know whether you can see, just see that pencil marks on there. I don't always do this when I do fussy cutting, but I just sort of thought it's just a great little tip just to be able to sort of keep control of what you're doing. And it doesn't matter if you don't cut it exactly where you've drawn your pencil marks. You can just take them on just on the inside of it. And of course, when you use your scissors, you basically keep your scissors still and move your paper. And you'll get much smoother if you just very gently just move that paper along. And all you're doing is just closing the scissors up as you go around. It's the same sort of thing when I'm using a craft knife to cut these sort of things. Again, I keep my knife still and I move my paper. So, you know, it's a good habit to try and to start forming. But as I said, if you're not feeling secure doing fussy cutting like this, then just draw a pencil line around the outside edge. And I just want to curve that off a little bit. There we go. And then all you need to do is just get a soft rubber. Make sure it's a nice and clean one. Just go around all those edges and just remove any pencil lines that you may have. So that coffee cup is going to sit there, and then we can pop that on there like that. Okay, so that's given me an idea of what I want to do, and I can bring that up a little bit higher. Okay, so I'm going to pop some dimensionals on the back of my coffee mug. You could also stamp directly onto your circle if you wanted to do there, but I just thought that sentiment was probably a bit big. And I don't necessarily want that right in the middle, but I am going to place it about there. And let's just have a look what this is going to. And what I might do is I might pop that up on dimensionals as well. Because this is the part that I want to be my focal point. So this is what I want my height to be on. Because if I had put all the other bits and pieces, my card would be getting taller and taller. So make sure my cup is straight, similar distance to balance that out. And I'm going to pop a dimensional underneath there. And I'm going to pop glue onto this end. So it's going to sit down on top of the cup, the coffee cup. Take the back off. have that sitting right there. So the last thing I want to do is pop some bling onto there. These are very cute, and the fact that they've, lift that in there, got like a little swirl on it. And let's grab our take a pic tool. Pop on there. Okay. I'll have to fix that a bit later. It won't go in there nicely. There we are. There's our card for today. Now let me bring it up so you can see, since it's so quite simple, using our template there. So as I said, Tuesday is now going to be Template Tuesday, named by my husband. And I hope you've enjoyed that card. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. I'm going to try to get some blogging done. I've just been inundated with work, and I've had a couple of weeks of a few little health issues I've been having to deal with, and it's just knocked me for six. So that's why my blogging is not up to scratch at the moment. So anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you grab this set. If you don't have a demonstrator and you would like one of our catalogues when they come out, please let me know if you're here in Australia and you would like one. As I said, if you do have a demonstrator, go back to your demonstrator. If you don't have one, let me know and I can get one to you. Also, too, these products here, the Latte Love and the whole suite, you will find on the online exclusives. And if you go to butterfliesandbows.com, you will find a link to my shop if you want to do shop through me as well. Any questions or anything like that, please leave me a message and I will try to get back to you. I do try to go over my videos a little bit later on and just check whether there's any questions and try to answer them. And we'll see you on Friday with another card and hopefully no technology issues. So take care, have a great evening, and I'll see you all later. Thank you for joining me. Bye for now.